Hello everyone, it's Skywalker and Bush here. It's me, Skywalker, or known as Drew, and today we are going to be reviewing Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter. First, let's get onto the box. Here's the box of Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter here. We have the X-Wing, which is flying out of the Millennium Falcon, or flying into the Millennium Falcon. I mean Death Star, you guys know what I mean. The number is 75301, and it's 474 pieces. And it's 9+, but, you could probably build this if you're under 9 years old. And we got the side artwork right here, which is always nice to see. On this, and on the top, we got the minifig for scale. We have an artwork of all the Lego figures included, which is 4. On this side, we got all the information. And here on the back is, like, it on the ground and with all the figures showing and all the play features shown too. And Play It in the Skywalker Saga, which is coming out April 5th, and I'm very excited for that. Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter comes with 4 bags. The booklet is 106 pages. Now that we have all the information on the box, let's throw this away. And now onto the design of the X-Wing. Here's the design of the X-Wing. It's a smaller design than most X-Wings, which gives it a cheaper price. And I forgot to tell you earlier, this retails for $50 on Lego.com, but you might be able to find it cheaper. Link in the description. Sorry about this, guys. A part of the video got corrupted, so I have to do this on a lot worse quality of a device. And I was just hearing you talk about the spring-loaded shooters right here. And I was just talking about how the design point of that's how the blasters and how they shoot very good and hard. And back to normal quality and back to the normal video. Alright, bye. The cockpit can fit 1 person, which is really all you need for this. But it's quite simple. I'm actually missing a piece right here for the, like the little control panel type deal thing. But you get the point here. Let me show you guys what it looks like. It looks like that basically. Yep. But it's a quite simple but effective cockpit design. And in here we have the Technic parts, which I personally do not like how this looks, and we'll get into that later. Then back here we have that randomness, and then in the back we have the back of it really with the, I don't know what to call these, exhaust almost. It looks pretty good. And then we have the shooters over here too. And then on the bottom you have the feet for it. No ladder, though, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's okay. Now, since we're getting a much simpler design compared to the 2018 more expensive version of the X-Wing, which has a little bit more detail, this is a more, like, budget option of it, I'm going to say. We have stickers here, but they're not, like, quite the right color of the actual part of the Lego bricks, so you can just take those off if you don't want them, but they're not actually the same color. We do have a lot of stickers on this though, which is nice, and an R2-D2 can fit right in this little, if I can ever get it in. It fits in this slot and it won't fall out, which is great. The ship can also, if you lift it up, the wings will also move out, and it's quite hard to do with one hand. So this is what it looks like with all the wings out and expanded. And here is a full 360 view of the ship. And now onto the minifigs. First up, we got Luke Skywalker in his piloting uniform with his helmet and his very detailed face here. This is a different Luke Skywalker than normal, but we've seen it before. He has his lightsaber. On the back, we got great printing, and you can see the back of his helmet. Nothing on the sleeves, but that's quite expected from Lego. Skywalker also has another face. It's with his visor up and him grinning. And here's what he looks like without his helmet, if you wanted to know. Next up, we got Princess Leia with her blaster, almost in her, like, default form. Again, no arm printing, which is pretty normal, though. And on the side, she has no legs, so it's a dress. And on the back, it even has a lot of detail, too. Here's her classic hair, and here's what her blaster looks like. She also has another face on the back, and this is what she looks like without her hair. Bald. Now on to our next character is General Dodonna. This is a new figure for Lego Star Wars in general. We've never seen him before. He has great printing on it, but almost, let me see here. The gap right there is a little unsettling, which we'll get into the gripes later on in this video, but if you can see, there's a little bit of a gap. We got his nice and long blaster. It's definitely bigger than Princess Leia's, and we've got.
That's what she said.
And we've got this hair, which looks a little weird, and we'll get onto that later too. And from behind, we just have a nice little print detail in the back. And here's what he looks like with this other face from behind. And this is what he looks like without his headpiece at all. Last minifig in this is R2-D2, which is a classic. It's a basic R2-D2. You probably already know what it looks like as a gray headpiece. And from behind, it looks like this. So pretty basic from behind, and there's no printing on the legs either. So pretty basic R2-D2. You get the point. Now onto the playability part of this figure, which is great playability, especially for the price. You know, we have the mechanical type deal blasters, which, you know, if you just fire up, shoots at you, which it just shot at me. And here, let's get a slow-mo of this. Fires pretty hard and fast, which is great. And then, you know, you can put your figure in the cockpit, and you can actually lay him all the way down. Now, if it's Luke Skywalker, which is really the person that you want to put in it, there's no way to really store his lightsaber, which is a gripe about this. There's no way to store his lightsaber. You can, like, you know, lean him all the way back and he'll fit. There's no way to store his lightsaber, which is kind of annoying, but I came up with this idea of to put it just like that, which it doesn't look right, but, I mean, it's a place to hold it. And then, you know, we can put R2-D2 in, which I've already mentioned earlier, and it will not fall out, by the way. Let me just move this lightsaber. And he will not fall out, like, bruh. And if you cannot see, there's another grip right there. And then another playability standpoint of this is the wings folding out. So what you're supposed to do is, you see this little obvious thing right here. You just push that down when you hold it up, and the wings will expand. It's quite hard to show you because I don't have, like, 3 hands, you know what I mean? But let me see if I can do this with 1 hand. So you push it down, and then there you go. The wings have expanded. But something that's really good about this build, which is a lot better than the 2018 version of this, is to get them back in, all you have to do is land it, and it just easily goes back in smoothly, and it looks very satisfying. You know, the most annoying things are these. Yeah, look at how annoying these things are. I absolutely hate this. So we're basically onto the gripes now. I absolutely hate the bottom parts. I lost some. I absolutely hate the bottom parts to death. You know, here's one sitting right there because it just popped off. But I absolutely hate them so much. I really wish they would change that, like, really do. Another gripe is that, especially if you don't have R2-D2 in it, this area looks horrible. Like, just without one little piece sticking out, it really annoys me. And seeing, like, the red, and if we turn it around here, seeing that blue Technic piece just right there is kind of annoying. And with a little gap, too. And with these, like, I don't even know why they're there. They're just there for the design. In the back, it looks a little weird on, not the exhaust, like, booster type deal things. This right here looks weird in my opinion. I said earlier there's nowhere to really put his lightsaber other than just on the ground, or you can put it here, which is a thing I came up with, but it's still not the best, but it's okay. Another gripe I have is when picking it up, it is quite rattly. Like it's not mine. Like, I've seen other people's that are more rattled. They're more rattly than mine, but I just don't like how rattly it is when you're, especially if you're going to be playing with this a lot, it's going to get quite rattly. But it's not a horrible thing, but it is a little bit of a downside. And the one last gripe about it is that these aren't the same color, but it's not a deal breaker. That's not really something bad, but it's just a small little gripe that isn't, the stickers aren't the same color of the actual Lego parts of it, but that's not really too bad. But you can just not even put on the stickers you want. Here's what they would look like without them, basically. So, I mean, not too bad without them either, but I still recommend putting them on. They're just not the same color. But oh, you guys have the gripes for over. This is just something I forgot to mention. Like, you can almost see that little gap right there, which is just quite unsettling to me. And sorry, the camera quality is bad, not recording it on the same device. But as you can see, you know, it's not perfect right there. And his hair, bro, like, look at that hairline. Like, hair's good, but it's not, like, perfectly executed. And, like, here is Luke Skywalker to, you know, show for, like, not as bad as a gap. You know, here's compared to Luke Skywalker, and here's his gap. I think it's a little worse, but now onto the summary. Overall, I'll give this set about a 8 or 7 out of 10. It's great for the price point, but it's not on the caliber of Boba Fett Slave 1, which there are, like, gripes about it, obviously, but this one seems to have a lot of gripes, in my opinion, especially with the bound on parts, which is a real pain, but it is great for the price, and the piece count is pretty good, but it's not quite on the level of Boba Fett, so that's why I give it I'm probably going to give it a 7. Yeah, that's why I give it a 7, but the figures are better than the Slave one. I don't know, I'm comparing it to the Slave one. It's just the first thing that comes to my mind right there. And I think it's, yeah, about a 7 or 8. Actually, don't know, or 8. That's why I give it a 7 or 8. You can decide in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, like, and do everything like that. And I'll see you guys in the next one.